Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Limis. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The Department of Labor knocks out a big number of applicants for federal assistance. Also tonight, another positive case of COVID is stopped at the borders. And it's election day for the Sinamay Youth Congress. In sports, huge game coming up. Call it the Clash of the Titans. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
A meal replacement smoothie is a great way to keep your fitness goals on track during the holiday season, and they taste great, fast, and easy. The December smoothie of the month is Minty Java Choco Chip, and it's just $5. Check out the Shake Cafe, Gold's Gym, Garapan.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich, you'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Half a day to the Wami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. After thorough review, the Department of Labor declares more than 1,000 applicants ineligible for the Lost Wages Assistance Program. More than 8,000 individuals are eagerly awaiting the money for the Lost Wages Assistance Program. But after weeks of review, the department has eliminated some names off that list.
And we're looking at about 8,473 names, but at this point, 6,909 are eligible. Several hundreds have been disqualified because of their status, of employment status, or being a CWM worker at that time, and several have been denied due to outright fraudulent claims. These are claims that are not within the CNMI, do not have any documents or identification.
Beneventi states the new list of eligible applicants will be transmitted to the Department of Finance within the next few days. About $6 million has been put aside for the LWA funding. As for the second round of the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, better known as PUA, here is the update.
We've vetted about 12,800 applications, looking like these will all be eligible applicants. Most of these applicants have already submitted their documentation to update their employment status, copies of paychecks if needed, copies of time records, work records if needed. And it's going to be about an estimated $90 million of PUA disbursements within the next several weeks for PUA Round 2 under the CAA, Continuing Assistance Act.
For the first round of PUA, DOL paid about 38,000 applicants, but that list has been cut in half as well because some individuals went back to work or moved off island. As for staffing, Beneventi states even that number has gone down.
And we had applied for a grant asking if we could employ 50 pool coordinators, and unfortunately we received an approval for only 15 pool coordinators. Since that time last year, we started borrowing government agencies' personnel to assist us and to be assigned to the Department of Labor. So as far as each program, PUA and LWA, I just want to give you a quick look at my board here. It's an ever-changing board. It has gone from 111 to 85 names at this point in time.
But despite the challenge, the department's #1 goal is to prevent fraudulent claims.
I know a lot of people are calling saying, when am I going to get my PUA round 2? Why is it taking so long? When we receive an application, especially thousands of applications, each one of them has to be opened up. Each one of them has to be reviewed by an adjudicator on the Department of Labor staff to make sure that those documents are vetted carefully, checking weekly check stubs, verifying employers. Very important to verify that an employer is actually an employer and not somebody else.
Beneventi extends her thanks to the community for their patience as they continue to try to get the money out as soon as possible. One more arriving passenger tested positive for COVID-19 and was put in quarantine. According to CHCC, the individual was identified through travel screening and was confirmed on the 5th day testing. The person is asymptomatic. The Communicable Disease Investigation Inspection Team initiated contact tracing for those contacts with highest risk of exposure. That brings the total number of COVID-19 cases to 160 since March 28th of last year. High school students make their way to the polls for the 2021 Youth Congress election. Marianas High School is holding a 2-day election event for the 18th Sinamay Youth Congress. Vice Principal Romulo Orsini states they have 6 candidates running, which is the highest number among the other 4 schools.
Being involved in Youth Congress really empowers the young people. It makes them know that there really is a body that really listens to their concerns and then also voices their opinions. What's also really more exciting is that whatever the Youth Congress actually introduces is that it also has the potential to actually become law, right? So for the many young people who are watching this and also getting involved is don't be afraid, man. Like, we are here to listen to how can we help you in your everyday life?
This morning, students headed to the cafeteria to cast their votes, and KSPN was able to speak with some students. So tell me, what is Youth Congress?
To me, Youth Congress is like an opportunity for the youth, especially high school students, to be exposed to the different current events, not only to the world, but also within their district and island.
Awesome. And why is it important that, we have a Youth Congress?
Because the children are the future of our community, and we need a stable and a structured future. And with our students, it will also help us to create a better world for the future and us, the children.
I feel like Youth Congress to me is like a way for like our generation to be represented like up there, because I feel like some of the opinions are based off of like the adults and like the leaders, and I feel like it's good for our generation and all the younger people to be represented.
Well, the Youth Congress is important because for what I believe is we don't really have representation in our real Congress. So I think Youth Congress is a great way for the youth to be heard.
Easton de la Cruz is a candidate, and he tells us why he decided to run.
I decided to run because growing up, my family, my parents have always brought me up as public service, and when I saw the Youth Congress, I took it as an opportunity to do my calling, which is public service.
Awesome. And if you do have the chance to, get a seat at Youth Congress, what are your plans?
So right now I don't have anything set. I just want to make the students of MHS know that if I win, they will be well represented up in the Youth Congress.
Youth Congress Coordinator LJ Castro.
May 15th will be the inauguration date. I know that we have voting today and tomorrow. We have Mount Carmel next week on Thursday. So hopefully we can get all the results in within a week's time and be able to start the preparations for inauguration.
Cagman High School will also be holding a 2-day election event, while Mount Carmel students will be voting next week Thursday after their spring break. Tinian High School and Dr. Rita Enos High School also has candidates as well. A small warehouse in Wallarai was hit by a thief over the weekend. About 15 items worth more than $1,000 were stolen from the family outlet store over the weekend. This is heartbreaking news to the store owners who just opened their doors 3 months ago. They tell us it was the supervisor who discovered they had just been robbed on Easter Sunday.
Early in the morning, 8 o'clock, the supervisor found out the dolly on the road. So he opened the warehouse and then he found it. Someone came in and stolen.
The thief got in by making a hole through the roof. The store does have cameras and the suspect can be seen but not identified. As you can see in the video, the suspect looks around the store and then discovers the camera. He then approaches the cam and eventually got it to turn off. But when he enters another room, the camera was able to capture the stealer in action. Most of the stolen items are household tools such as chainsaws, a bush cutter, and blower.
I wanna step back my items because all new and then all the houses needed the one for bush cutter and chainsaw, the tools.
The store owner also advises other businesses to be extra careful and cautious. If you or someone you know has been approached by an individual trying to sell you items that match the description, the Department of Public Safety encourages you to call 911. Coming up this month is dedicated to victims who have spoken out and who have yet to speak out. More details after the break.
For your smiles, they give me endless pride. For our shared moments, that become an endless treasure. And when I've taught you everything I know, I promise to always be here to watch you grow. You've got endless potential, son.
Access all you'll ever need, giving you endless data on your favorite social apps.
Winigi Pechay Pharmacy in Gofadahi, Ihinim Lomu.
Our complete line of pharmaceuticals and lowest prices ensure you get the treatment that you deserve.
Our compassionate, friendly, multilingual staff will take the time to get to know you, explain your medications to you, and answer any questions that you may have.
Ngere eyor sumaye ukalweres ren, kutsu wayor sa feye emal ebalisyu klalyam weres.
Inumin ang inyong gamot ayon sa inireseta ng inyong doktor at alinsunod sa bilin ng inyong pharmaceutical.
We accept most insurance, but in case you don't have coverage, we offer cost-effective generic drugs.
PHI Pharmacy, your lifelong partner in health. PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
So what are you going to do this year? At Gold's, a dedicated fitness studio with a cushioned floor is perfect for group exercise. The cardio room features a variety of treadmills, bikes, steppers, and ellipticals. Fitness machines will help you achieve your goals, and the largest free weight area on Saipan gives you comfortable space to work out. Gold's Gym team is ready to help you get to your goals. Try harder. We know you can do it. Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They're an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. Raising awareness requires action. The Northern Marianas Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Assault encourages everyone to stand up and break the silence against assault. Take a listen. CNMI leaders and officials gathered at the Multipurpose Center in Susupi to show love and support for the victims and survivors of sexual assault. Governor Torres officially proclaimed the month of April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Audrey Atta from the Northern Marianas Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Violence speaks on the theme for this year's advocacy.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and this year our theme is creating safe spaces, which encourages safe spaces for our students to learn, our children to play, our individuals to work, and our community to thrive in. And that can be done in many ways, one in which is practicing consent, asking people if it's okay to do something first before proceeding with doing so.
Carrie Dodd, the Division of Youth Services, CNMI Supreme Court, and the Office of the Attorney General are all working with the coalition in providing resources for victims and survivors. One important message shared in today's ceremony is this:
encourage each other to be there for each other, to understand sexual assault. Like our director mentioned in her welcoming remarks, learn something about sexual assault and how can you help if someone were to disclose their abuse or their trauma to you? What would you do as a person in this community?
60 to 80% of girls and women in the Pacific will experience some type of physical or sexual violence. If you or someone you know is going through these experiences, please know there is always help.
I just want to close by saying, we always say that it takes a community to raise a child. So what I ask this community is, our community, let's protect that child. Thank you.
On Guam, lawmakers and the Department of Corrections support a bill that will provide funds for Indigenous inmates' phone accounts.
Half a day CNMI, I'm Adriana Cotero, and here's what's making news on Guam. A bipartisan bill recently introduced by the legislature would create a revolving fund for Indigenous inmates to have adequate access to legal representation. The Department of Corrections supports this measure. Bill 99 establishes the Infamalic for Inmates Fund that would allow Indigenous inmates to contact their legal counsel free of charge. During the pandemic, visitation privileges were halted and communication was only permitted through telephone. As a result, fees were imposed to add funds to inmates' phone accounts. However, many of those incarcerated are Indigenous, and the PayTel system served as a barrier to acquiring legal representation, explains Department of Corrections spokesperson Major Anton Uggan.
Now, in the system, attorney numbers can be set to do not record, right? So that you have a private conversation. We're not allowed to listen to attorney-client calls. The issue is that some of the inmates don't have, money. They don't have family support, or they don't have a lot of money to put in their phone system. So how do you give them access to their attorney? And who pays for it? That's the next cost. Who should pay for those inmates who don't have the money to pay for their phone calls?
As stated in the bill's language, the phone service provider deposits 15% of net revenues into the Government of Guam General Fund as a condition to doing business within the prison. If made law, this deposit would become an account for Indigenous inmates to communicate with their respective attorneys.
And so we support that. I mean, we all want to give access to the inmates on their attorneys. That's a constitutional right, and we don't want to interfere with that. And but somebody has to pay for it because our phone system is a private company that operates it.
According to Uggan, DOC ran a pilot program with the Public Service Defender Corporation for 2 months, providing all inmates that called the Public Defender Office free access. And for 1 month, that equated to an over $400 payment.
Just to call the alternate public defender. So, it might, cost a couple more. Of course, if we're going to do all attorneys. So we need to figure out, are they intent to, every inmate and detainee, whether they have money or not in their account, should be entitled to the free phone calls.
As stated in the measure, the revolving fund is to be established by the Department of Administration. Stay informed 24/7 by checking out KUAM.com or downloading the KUAM News app available for iOS or Android. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Thank you, Adriana. All right, coming up in the KSPN2 Sports Report, Confucius say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And I think Confucius was referring to the Pacific Crest Trail.
newest in entertainment lets you do TV your way with Docomo Pacific D TV Plus. Watch your favorite live and local channels, stream movies and shows on TV, on your phone, and on your tablet, right from your Docomo Pacific Wi-Fi. No more wires, no more cable boxes, now with the best price. Do TV your way with Docomo Pacific D TV Plus.
How many letters?
5 letters.
Just think about, what am I doing right now?
Smile. Smile?
Uh-huh.
This is so easy.
Nobody likes to be stopped by the police, but if I'd seen her texting while driving and given her a ticket, it just might have saved her life.
We're one of 8 U.S. regional fishery councils established under the Magnuson-Stevens Act. The council uses the best available science and local knowledge to develop fishery management plans for over 1.7 million square miles of our productive Pacific waters.
We worked with local scientists and managers to develop an app that captures detailed fishery data.
Accurate CATS data from the fishing community are needed to sustain fish populations.
Take a proactive role in fishery management.
The power of data is in our hands.
Buy one, get one free for the off-road adventure at Mariana's Trekking. Come ride our side-by-sides at our best price ever and experience a great 90-minute trail ride. Rain or shine, hopefully rain. Book now at Mariana's Trekking. Saturdays and Sundays by reservation. Call 323-8735 or book at marianastrekking.com.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live. Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, the M League swings back into action this weekend with what could be a terrific match coming up Friday night. The top 2 teams in the men's A division will square off on the big rectangle. Now the only 2 undefeated will go toe-to-toe, literally and figuratively. Merrick Tovis is giving you a special invitation. Tan Holdings won their first 5 games of the 2021 season. The NMI U18A team has 4 wins, no losses, and 1 draw. Tan Holdings has scored the most goals, 21, while the goalie Merrick Tovis is allowed a league low in goals scored, only 1. Like the best things in life, this game is free. Usually students depend on adults to coordinate sporting events. Last weekend, it was the students who stepped up. Student body officers at Saipan International School organized their own tennis tournament to give back to their school. In terms of overall participation, the result turned out to be a huge tournament that flooded the AMP tennis courts.
Zarin Chung, 9th grade.
I'm Jesse Sablon, 10th grade.
And I'm Mark Dom, 12th grade.
And you guys all organized this?
Yeah.
So tell us about the tournament. How many players?
There are 73 players and 112 matches. We have 12 events. And yeah.
Well, what made you come to decide to do this?
We did it last year and it's like a fundraiser thing for school, so to raise money.
Were you surprised at the large turnout?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What are you going to do with the money?
We're planning on using it to improve our school's environment.
A former member of the medal-winning NMI National Outrigger canoe team is embarking on a journey of a lifetime. This weekend, Jim Cyrock begins his quest to conquer the Pacific Crest Trail. Not his first rather unique endeavor either.
Well, you know, I started out on my own when I established the CNMI National Archery Association, and I competed in U.S. National Archery Championships and the Asian Championships for a few years. And then I started outrigger canoeing.
Cyrock will turn 75 this year, but age is not a deterrent.
Yeah, actually, I was 65 when I was paddling with the Outrigger Canoe Club, so that was quite old. But now I'm going to be hiking on the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm going to do a through hike of the Pacific Crest Trail, which is 2,650 miles long. It starts at, I'm going to do the south to the north section. So it starts at the border of Mexico and California and goes all the way up through California, Oregon, and Washington to the border of Canada at the top of Washington.
There are no sidewalks or 7-Elevens on the trail. There are wild animals.
Barely scared of bears. I will take a whistle, yes. And there are certain sections that during the hike through the Sierras that we actually have to carry our food in bear canisters. By regulation, they won't allow us to carry them in bags or anything because of the threat of bears during camping.
Cyrock says he expects to complete this journey in 5.5 months. He'll be sending KSPN2 Sports weekly updates. Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Go-karts, off-roading, and the driving range now open at Marianas Trekking. Go-kart track will be open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays with 50% off when you book online at marianastrekking.com, hours 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Use the promo code HAFA50 to get your discount. Off-roading is open too by reservation. Come on a 90-minute trail ride that is perfect for families. Book online at marianastrekking.com. Golfers, come practice on the driving range. You can even pay online, and we will have the balls waiting for you. Come see us weekends at Marianas Trekking, 323-8735. You have the flexibility to work out between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. At Gold's Gym, we call this off-peak, and it can save you money. Short-term daytime memberships on sale now, just $59 per month, and gets you access to the biggest and cleanest fitness center on island. Get yourself healthy and strong. Check out Gold's Gym today.
Here's the weather report today. Got up to 90. No, it did. Almost, though. 89 degrees the high. 78 the low. Humidity 82% because it rained. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. Isolated showers. East winds around 10 miles an hour. High 87. Low 77. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Sunrise at 7 past 6. High tide at 6:13. Followed by a low tide at 7 past noon. High tide 2 past 5. And then Sunset at 6 straight down, which is 6:30 in our language. That is your news, sports, and weather on a Wednesday here in the Commonwealth. Thank you so much for watching KSPN2 News, and we'll see you back here on Friday.